Water is a basic need for human beings, and without it, a lot of other diseases come in.
The Rotarians in Signani Central, it was their appeal to focus on a disease called Brule ulcer. When we partner, we come up with the right answers and the right ideas.
Rotary has provided more drinking sources of water than any single NGO in Ghana.
Committee no yajuma ebe ne se Ghana ebe hwe nsu na ma atimi achere amayen.
We have done more than 50 boreholes and have gone into so many communities.
When a Rotarian makes a promise, people here truly believe that we'll keep that promise.
I've already sweated out my undershirt, my shirt, my jacket, and everything else. I was going to loan it to this beautiful young lady, and I thought twice about it, giving her a sweaty jacket. Say hi to somebody real quick that you haven't said hi to yet. Haha, got you again. Okay, that's a lot of fun, guys. I hope everybody had the opportunity. Lost the crowd. Hope everybody had the opportunity to look at the cars out back. Who got to see the cars already? Okay, if you didn't get to do that, make sure that you do that after I ring the bell, to close the meeting. They're under the canopy. There's some fine exhibits back there. There are special vehicles, and they're a sample of what they'll talk about a little bit today with the program we have. So let's get started. For invocation this morning, we have Bryant Bynum. Song and Pledge is Corey Nickerson, past president, and visitor introductions are John Delavadova. For invocation now, Brian. Brian.
As we bow our heads in prayer, we ask you, O Holy Provider, to help guide us to recognize the outpouring of love, wisdom, and guidance, along with the talents, strengths, and gifts you have provided each of us individually. May we each day recognize and be thankful for this abundance. May we also recognize that while these treasures may assist our abilities in navigating this world, they more truly serve as assets of service. They enable us to better the lives of others and provide an avenue for your love, light, and compassion to be seen in this physical world. Help us seek and find your ways for us to serve. In this we pray. Amen.
Things happen in life. Today I looked at my schedule, started making phone calls, and found out I had 2 piano players and a song leader that were out of town. So it reminds me of the 11th Beatitude. Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not get bent out of shape. Let's do God Bless America. Okay, you hear Tom going? Okay. God bless America, land that I love. stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. I'm going to introduce the Rotarians that have brought guests today, and if they will stand momentarily, we'll recognize them all at the very end. So first off, Joanne Miller has Ray Miller, her husband. And I've actually adopted her as my mother, so that's my mom right there. Ainsley Stafford has brought Claudia Fields with Northwestern Mutual. Matt Davis has two guests, Donnie Watson with the Numbered Car Company. So Donnie, give us a little.
Ronnie.
Okay. Oh, let me put my glasses on. Okay, Ronnie Watson with the Numbered Car Company. And also Matt's brought John Neese with Matco Plaza Building. One more guest, Becky Fields has brought Courtney Neal with the Mabry Bank. Let's give them a round of applause. We had one visiting Rotarian from Kansas where corn has grown quite a bit. So let's give a high Rotarian to Jason Mangrum with the Olathe Noon Club from Kansas. Hi, Jason. Like Granny used to say, you all come back now, you hear?
Thank you, Corey. You know, I always love it when we go to Acapulco to do our singing. That was nice. I'm glad you filled in the notes so they couldn't hear me. I'm going to take a little liberty as a president here to probably say some things that are going to be a little bit tough, but I don't think we can go through a meeting and not recognize some issues that have occurred recently. I flew out of Tulsa on Sunday morning very early and was at a convention that consumed my time, and I mean consumed it from 7 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and flew in this morning. And I don't know what night it was, but I turned on the TV and I saw a black man with his hands up get shot. I'm thinking, oh no, here we go again. You know, you never know the context of that. And then I saw the crawler, because I had the TV on mute because I'm working, and it said Tulsa, Oklahoma. I got to let you know that wasn't a good time for me, because that's the second time Tulsa has been framed by a shooting. We always, or I did, think this was not a place that would or could happen. It always happened somewhere else. There were situations, you try to justify that, but you're disconnected from that because that can't happen in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It did. And normally I start out the meeting or close the meeting with, go out and tell people about the great work of the Rotary Club of Tulsa and about our community. CNN took that job from me Monday or Tuesday night. And the story they told about Tulsa has been heard by the nation for the second time. Now, we're one person removed from both of those incidents. The first one occurred at the county level under a Rotarian's indirect watch. The second one occurred at the city level under a Rotarian's indirect watch. I don't know about any of you, but I have never served in combat, so with the exception of combat, I've never had a gun pulled on me. I have been in bad places at the wrong time. I have been pulled over a few times. I have had my car broken down on the side of the road more than once. And none of those times did I ever have a gun pulled on me. And I will tell you, there's really only one reason I can deduce for that, because there are times I've been very polite to the police and there's times that I haven't. And what I can tell you is it's because I'm white. That's the reality that we have to face as a community and a country. And the other reality is, as a club, we have a diversity and inclusion committee. If we were a true reflection of our community, we wouldn't have a diversity and inclusion committee. And I want to tell you, a committee that does the work that needs to be done in this community is in the community doing the work, not just in the club doing the work. Understand the importance of that. I'm not disrespecting that. I'm saying it's not enough. So I'm going to stand here and tell you, as a club, we are challenged to not only change our city where this can't happen, to change the nation's perception of our city, but more importantly, we have to engage with this city in that community to allow this not to happen again. This is not an anti-police. This has nothing to do with that. There are issues that are deep. We are a thought leader in this community. We need to lead thought in this area. I do not want to see Tulsa on the news again over an issue like this. And if we can change that, let's do it, please. I want ideas to go to Phil Armstrong. You know, Phil lives this. He won't talk about it, but he's a perfect leader for this. He's a young man. He's putting his heart and soul into it. He had a great mentor. So if you have any ideas what we can do, please get with those gentlemen and let us know. We need to really applaud also the way that on the other side of these events, they were handled by our county commissioner, above board all the way, and Chief Jordan, compared to the way these other events have been handled, was exceptional. First of all, he met transparently with the family. He gave them information before the public saw it, and the information was put out to the country. And I very much want to applaud their efforts for that. Okay, switching gears. Our upcoming programs, there's a couple not listed here, but our next two programs are off-site. So after today, we won't see each other for a couple of weeks unless we're together at those off-site meetings. One of them is Business Biz, so we'll be broken out into several groups. So if you're already signed up for that, congratulations. If you're not, there's sign-ups on your table. This is your last opportunity. You might be able to email the office up until 5 today, but these rosters have to be set, food prepared, arranged for, and facilities ready. So please sign up for BizViz. It is a great, great opportunity to get to know your Rotarians. October the 5th, we have a program coming up that I'll get to in a moment. But October the 19th, we have Fred Davis coming in. Is he Davis? Oh, it's your brother, right? Oh, okay. He's the older brother that's somehow better looking, right?
A lot better.
He's going to be a little bit ornery, and I've very much impressed upon him to be ornery in both directions. So it should not be a one-party bashing program. It should be equal opportunity, and there's never been a better time. October the 26th, we have Scott Sullen from Philbrook coming in. There's a lot of exciting things going on, and he's going to bring us up to date. November the 2nd, Marnie Taylor is going to be here. She just got a big award, so we're going to hear a lot about her work. Let's also look at today's sponsors. Roger Dunham from Accent Realty. Mike Fine, who serviced me fine for the last 4 days with my car being safe at Fine Airport Parking. Terry Heritage with Interim Healthcare. And then we got a duo, Rhonda Renz and T.C. Blair from Spirit Bank. Let's thank our sponsors. I don't see my Sarge. I know she's here. She's been pestering me all morning. Where'd she go? Oh, you're up. Okay, you missed your slot, so let's move on.
Hello, everybody. I missed you last week. I hope you missed me. They didn't send in for...
We missed you, I think. Okay. We waved at you. If you'll watch the video, we all waved at you at the end.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Thank you. Well, we're going to start out. My good friend Jim Morrison, right over here, who says hello every Wednesday. It's been his birthday, and he gave us a nice check for $85. So happy birthday, Jim. Is Michael Turner here? I looked for him. Where are you? Oh, you're way over there. Hey, how about that slide? I didn't do the, somebody paid for this slide. So anyway, happy birthday. Last week, it was actually last Wednesday was his birthday, but I wasn't here. But I wanted to be the one to present the slide. So happy birthday, and thank you, Anonymous, for the donation. And we have Bob Reed. Where's Bob sitting? There he is, always right there. Bob has given us a very generous donation of $550 to honor the beginning of his 55th year in Rotary. I mean, how amazing is that? I think he was like 10 years old when he became a Rotarian, because that's pretty good, 55 years. So thank you for that generous donation. And before we go any further, I would like to, where's the beautiful Lindsay Dunn sitting? Look, happy birthday. Today is her birthday. She gave a generous donation this morning, and so I don't have a slide, but everybody be sure that you tell Lindsay happy birthday. Today is her big day. So, did Mr. Ed ever arrive? Oh, yeah.
Ha-ha!
All right, I know. So we're gonna. I do have a slide for him. But before we do our auction, look, Matt, it's you. So this is kind of a cool thing. Recently, our very own Matt Davis was highlighted by Children's Abuse Network. Is that right? Child Abuse, sorry about that. I think I've started writing something else. Child Abuse Network. And they did a donor spotlight on Matt Davis because in 2011, tell me if this story's right, I believe that the foundation, the Rotary Foundation, made a gift to CAN. Is this correct? Well, he was so touched by the presentation that they did when they were receiving their gift that he donated some animals. And he has continued doing that. And now, since 2011, he's done over 40 donations, over 1,200 comfort animals. How amazing is that? So, what a guy. So, a big thanks to Matt, but also a big thanks to the fact that we have a foundation that we can do this, that we're able to do this, do these nice gifts. So next we have, everybody knows how bad I was at auctioning, but our president's going to step in since Mr. Ed is not here today, and he's going to do our auction. So here's what we have. We have a starting bid already of $100 for 2 tickets to the October 1st game. Now, if those tickets sell for $250 or more... Which
OU went for higher than that last week by far.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Just
throw that out there. But this is
just
Texas.
Throwing it out there.
Is this like the Baylor game? Okay, but I'm gonna say that in just a second. So this game is going to be Texas. We have 2 tickets, right? If they get to 250, we'll have an option for the other 2 tickets, because we'd like for them to at least raise $250 each. So that would be $500 for all 4 tickets. The Nulls are not going to be able to be here at the game, and if you look at that picture, we have our beautiful Jan, who was there with a friend. I don't know who the friend was, but this is the Nulls. I got a text message. It was like, look at this view. Look at these beautiful people with us, and we're having so much fun. So it had to go on the slide. So this is the kind of day you can have, and that's your view down there in the 50-yard line. And so, but the Nulls are not going to be there this week, but they are going to provide gift certificates for your meal. So isn't that awesome? They keep on giving. So with that being said, President, did you understand the conditions of this sale?
I do.
Okay, and here we have Mr. John instead of Mr. Ed. Get that?
And I will add a little bit of tidbit. I've got the neatest picture of Tim's sister on my phone. We'll try to put that up because Tim's tickets at OU, his sister sits in the seats, 2 seats in front. So that's worth every penny I paid for the tickets.
Did you like throw popcorn at her and
Because
stuff?
I've got
during the
stories
game?
now. Oh, she likes Tim. I have some stories.
Okay.
Okay, so we have $100 for the tickets for
$100 to
OSU.
start.
So I've got $100. Do I hear 125? 125, 125. This is a jailbreak game, all Texas. 125. Do I hear 150? I got 125, 150. Got 150. Do I hear 175? Got 175. 200. Do I hear 225? Got 200, 225. You bid yourself up. 225. Okay, I got 250. I got 250 over here. 275, 275, 275. Got 250. Anybody for 275? You're bidding yourself up again. Oh, Jan. Yell, wave.
Yeah.
Okay, I got 250. Do I hear 275? Got 250. Do I hear 275? 275. I got 275. Do I hear 3? Got 275. Do I hear 3? I see 3 back there. I've got 3. Do I hear 325? 325. Got 3 here. 325. Going. Okay, $300. Do you want all 4 tickets for $600? All right.
For how much?
$600.
$600?
Right?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Good job. Okay, and all of you birthday people, even if your birthday was in August or July or June or any time, you can still have a slide. So send me some emails. Thank you, President.
Thank you, Kathy. Run.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask again.
It's all right. We have a couple of committee meetings today. Rotary Foundation District and Global Grants is meeting in room 232. And we have a new committee, Women in Rotary. They've been in Rotary for 20 years, but they're going to get organized. Room 234, and I want to shout out to Becky Fields. I really appreciate what she's doing. Where is Becky? I need her to stand up. Becky sees an area that is an opportunity for this club to be diverse, and she took it upon herself to say, I'm going to do something about it. And she's pitched myself and the board and a few other people about her idea, and we're going to let her run with it. So she wants to raise awareness in Tulsa community and the service opportunities for women in Rotary, or for women as part of Rotary. This, of course, is aligned with our strategic plan. So if you're interested in this effort, and you do not have to wear a dress to go to the meeting, you're invited to go to the meeting after Rotary Today and engage in this process. For the 4th week in a row, word has reached us of the passing of a fellow Rotarian, part of our family, Ed Jenkins. Ed's service is this Friday, September the 30th at 11 at Kirk of the Hills Church. There are cards on your table for Ed, along with Rotarian Dick Ekdahl, who is in St. John Hospital following an accident. So we ask you to scribble your hopes and prayers and wishes for their families and for them during this time. So Donna ran up here and corrected me. I'm getting ahead of myself. September's going away, but we do have one more meeting here. And Don is going to fine me tremendously as the district governor for skipping right over his meeting and not announcing it. But Don Dendos will be here next week, as all of you, plus everybody on the video that's watching. We need to fill the house for Don. I'll provide tennis balls, tomatoes, oranges, whatever we have to do to get everybody here to show Don a good time and try to be slightly respectful. So we're looking forward to this program. He's a great guy. He's a good speaker. So it should be a very entertaining time. And again, the night before, we're going to have our club assembly. So if you want to know what all this club does, come to that. The details are on DACDB. It's the night before in a facility downtown. There will be refreshments, and it should be a really good time. It's very informal. Starts at 6 o'clock, I believe. So look for DAC-DB for that opportunity as well. If you're new to Rotary, please come to that. You'll see everything this club does and get to learn a lot about it. Terry Heritage in Interim Healthcare will be here next week, and she'll be giving flu shots to people in short sleeve shirts. Oh, you will let them take their shirt off?
No, my nurses will. I can't see.
Oh, okay. That's a great point. Terry will not be giving the shots. Never had a flu shot in my thigh before, but bring your ID cards for your insurance and be ready. That's a great service they provide for us, and thank you very much, Terry and Interim Healthcare. Now, Don, when he comes in, he does an advanced challenge. His wife, Judy, is collecting funds for End Polio Now. So what they tend to do is the day of the meeting, they'll put out jars and people throw in cash. I want to blow Don and Judy up. So what I'd love for you all to do is get a 1 week advance notice that they're going to do this, and I want you to really mess with them and show them the power of the Rotary Club of Tulsa. And let's raise thousands of dollars at this meeting next week for ending polio. This is a great initiative. It's a great initiative for the district. And I'd really like to honor Don and his wife's initiative with a great gift from this club. So bring your checkbooks, bring your cash, bring your change, bring your whatever. Your classic cars would be nice. And let's raise money for ending polio. I'd like to call Karen Keith up now to introduce our nominating committee for 2017-2018.
Okay, this is important business. So we want you to start thinking about the nomination process, and any member can suggest somebody for an officer, for president, secretary, treasurer, sergeant at arms, director at large, or trustee. So you can have them contact me or Rhonda Daniel, John Raines, Mike Homan, Tony Oliva, Brian Bovard, or Dana Burks, but please do that before October. So if you've got somebody in mind that you'd like to see serve in one of these roles, please let us know. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I will tell you, that's a hard job, and we always think of it's the president. There are several positions that are filled through the nominating committee, and I can tell you right now, if you propose a name, it's taken into very high context. So please do that for us, please. Now it's my honor and privilege and all that stuff to introduce Rotarian of the Day, Matt Davis. Matt is a past president of Rotary Club of Tulsa, and he's currently the president of Davis Group Limited. He's a Club Foundation Fellow and a Paul Harris Fellow and has served in many capacities for the club. I asked Matt for a funny story. I had one prepared if you didn't come up with one. You know, I have liberty to do that. But he provided me with one. If you've seen the cars outside, his is the Buick, the beige one on the end that has a rumble seat. And if you haven't seen it, see it after the meeting. But his funny story is his daughter is quite the head turner. So she used to ride in the rumble seat in a bikini. And he told me they had a running clicker for how many cars had wrecks looking at the classic car or the bikini. Nobody could figure it out. So help me welcome our Rotarian of the Day, Matt Davis.
Before I introduce our speaker, I'd like to recognize and ask to stand the gentleman who kindly brought the beautiful cars that are on display behind the church today. John Neese, Ronnie Watson, and our club's own John Tucker. Please stand one more time, and please thank them. These guys are all huge car guys, and we really appreciate them sharing their beautiful cars with us today. Thanks, you guys. Our initial speaker today is a native of St. Louis, Missouri, although I don't know anybody in Tulsa who doesn't just assume that Roger Erker has lived here forever. Since moving to Tulsa in 1966, he has become a huge part of Oklahoma real estate. He currently serves as chairman of the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission, as a proprietary broker and partner at McGraw Realtors, and is one of Tulsa's premier real estate brokers. Roger's a car guy with a string of Jaguars. You have to be a car guy to have a bunch of Jaguars because they break every 5 minutes. But most important to our program today, he has a strong, heartfelt tie to advancing diabetes research. I'm delighted to introduce to you Mr. Roger Erker.
Wow, I've been a nervous wreck thinking about having to do this, and I walked in and saw so many of my old friends, and I've kind of noticed lately all my friends are pretty old. But, there's a whole lot of them here. So several people said, "Oh, you're going to be great. You're funny. You know, I've heard you speak before. You're hilarious." Then Lynette Potter told me you'll be great. I said, "You know, I am kind of funny, but generally after about 3 vodka tonics, and it's usually an evening speech, and it's on a topic a lot more interesting and fun maybe than diabetes is, but I can be a little bit funnier talking about some of the crazy real estate stories. But I am very grateful that you would have invited us, that Matt invited us from the American Diabetes Association to speak to you about an event that we have coming up on Sunday. You have a little preview of it with a few beautiful cars outside. I did look at those pretty cars outside, and I came in looking for the bar, and I couldn't find it. So here I am. So I'm here to tell you why I'm involved with the Concours for the Cure, number one. I get a lot of people say, what's a realtor doing involved with the Concours? So I will tell you a little bit of my story. In 1985, I noticed that the youngest of my 4 children, Billy, who was a chubby little kid growing up, had started losing a lot of weight. His mother and I were divorced, but we had joint custody of the kids, and Billy was at my house one time, and I thought, man, he's finally losing that baby fat. He's getting thin, he's getting a little bit taller, but boy, he sure pees a lot. He was going to the bathroom frequently, constantly. So I suggested to his mom that she take him to the pediatrician and check out perhaps what the sudden weight loss was about and the frequent urinations. She took him to the doctor, and the diagnosis was this young man has type 1 diabetes. So I said, well, did he prescribe any pills for him to get well? How soon will he get well? No one in his mother's large family or my large family had a history of diabetes. We didn't know anything about it. How long will this last? When will he get over it? What's the treatment? Well, Billy was immediately admitted to St. Francis Hospital for a 2-week recovery, as well as a wonderful education class that was offered by the hospital for the children to teach them how to manage their diabetes. There were about 10 kids in his class, as well as we young parents to learn about what these kids have to do to manage their own diabetes and to learn ourselves about the particular disease. Dr. Michael Endres and Jody Pielstecker were the instructors. Both of them are gone from our world today, but they were awesome people, did a beautiful job. But one of the things that stuck into my mind that was most shocking was that Dr. Endres said, probably you folks here will bury your children. And we were all rather shocked. Well, tomorrow or what? And he says, no, when you're 85, it's likely that their lifespan will not equal yours. So more than likely, that could happen to you. Billy went on to graduate from Booker T. Washington High School, managed his diabetes beautifully, did a great job, went off to college at Loyola University in Chicago. He loved Chicago. First week he was there, went into a diabetic shock. Fortunately, I had taught his roommate how to give him the glucagon shot that brought him back, but that was the first thing I heard when I arrived back in Tulsa after driving him up there, that he had had that particular problem. Pretty darn scary disease. This diabetes that we thought was, oh gosh, you can't have birthday cake, can't eat any sugar. It's a serious, serious, dangerous disease. I see a few doctors out there, they know what I'm talking about. He graduated from Loyola, went on to work as a waiter in a restaurant, as many college graduates do. He worked his way up in that industry, ultimately was manager at the McCormick Center in their restaurants, managed the Buddy Guy's Legend restaurant in Chicago, and then managed the House of Blues. The House of Blues, if you've never been there, the line's miles long to get in. To this day, I can walk up and say, I'm Billy Erker's dad. I get at the front of the line and get a nice room. he had a great reputation in that town. And then later on, he became marketing manager for Coca-Cola. He loved Chicago, loved it more, showing it off to his friends and his family from Tulsa. In 2001, on a Friday evening of Memorial Day weekend, my wife and I were gathered with friends prepared to barbecue and look forward to a typical holiday weekend. Then the call came from Tom Foley. Mr. Urker, I'm a friend of Billy's, and he's not been to work in a couple of days. Has he gone on a trip? It's not like him just to disappear. So I called his sister, who lived in San Francisco, and I said, Molly, do you know what Billy's doing this weekend? Has he gone away did he leave early on vacation? She said, no, I talked to him just the other day. They talked, the kids always talked often. I had 4 children, they lived in 4 different states. So that got her nervous as to what's going on. And then, of course, I then got a call back from Tom, and he said he was going to call the police and try to break into his apartment. I said, that's fine, please do so. So for 4 long hours we waited, and in my mind the words of Dr. Endres began echoing in my head. I called my close friend Dan Statuto, who some of you may know, who had moved from Tulsa to Chicago, and told him what was going on. He immediately drove the long drive from Lake Forest, where he lived, into Lincoln Park, where my Billy lived, and he brought a golfing buddy with him who happened to be an MD. And it was nice to know that I had a friend going to the apartment to see what the officer might find. And then the call came. Mr. Urker, this is Officer Young with the Chicago Police Department. We have bad news. Because I knew that was what news it was going to be. But Billy had been found dead from an apparent heart attack, which a long-awaited autopsy did confirm. Heart disease is one of the very common side effects of diabetes. Billy's life's been celebrated in many ways since that dreadful day. A packed Holy Family Cathedral, a chapel full of his many friends at a memorial service at Loyola University, fundraisers for the ADA at Buddy Guy's restaurant. Buddy Guy performed. This is kind of a funny story. It was probably a month or so after he had died. I don't know if you know Buddy Guy is an old legend in the blues. He's an 80-year-old entertainer, but he knew Billy well, and he wanted to do a benefit for ADA. So we were invited, of course, to go, and Deborah and I went up there, and we stayed in that Hilton Hotel. It's right there on by Grant Park. And we got there about 1 o'clock, and there's this long line in front of the Buddy Guys. And I said, well, they must have a luncheon there, you know. And so anyway, we checked in our hotel room. About 5 o'clock, they called me and said, aren't you guys coming over to the performance? I said, yeah, but it doesn't go on until midnight. I can't come over at 5 o'clock, start drinking in there, and wait to make it till midnight. And at any rate, they said, you need to come over. So we went over there at about 5 o'clock, and that show didn't start till midnight. But that line was for Billy's memorial, and they raised $35,000 that evening that was the first event they ever had that I was involved in for Billy. And then a bunch of his fellow friends then kept having a benefit. They called it a fun, F-U-N-draiser, the Billy Urker fundraiser in Cubby's Bar outside of Wrigley Field. They did that for about 5 years, and I told some of the kids that were doing it, that I said, you know, you guys don't need to do this forever, because it was, you know, things do dwindle out. And they said, you know what, Mr. Urker, we're all diabetics. We want to keep doing this. Wow. Amazing. Clearing out his apartment was the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life. But we went up there, and his friends helped us give away 9 million T-shirts and donate everything. Thank God there was a church down the street that needed all the stuff he had. But I noticed when I was there, I was never involved with the American Diabetes Association, but I saw a lot of pamphlets and things showing his involvement in the American Diabetes Association. So when I came back to Tulsa, I got involved in it. So I called up Ann Richards Ketchum and said, I want to kind of be involved in it. So if you ever knew Ann Richards Ketchum, who just recently left this world, she was the executive director for ADA for over 30 years, and she was really a strong lady. You mentioned the name that you knew Joe Blow, and she would say, go after Joe Blow and get all the money you can for ADA. I mean, you didn't mention a name that she wasn't on your back constantly to go after it. Well, one day when I was the chairman of the leadership board 12 years ago, Ann and I were sitting in the Goldies at 51st and Lewis saying, well, who are we going to get this year for our gala event? And of course, the gala event was the usual, get a guy with a lot of money, bring him up, sit him in the podium, invite all of his friends and sit here and praise them to death and have them dig into their pockets and pay to go do this, you know. So we're sitting there thinking, every name I could come up with had been honored by them or somebody else in past years. So I said, well, I heard about this guy who built a real big house over on Columbia, and I was kind of well aware of that big house going up. And I said, and I think he also sold a rental car lot someplace. And so I said, do you know a guy named Bill Loback? And she says, no, I don't know him. I said, I don't know him either. And I said, but I have met his wife, Kathy Taylor, once, but I really didn't know her either. And she goes, let's go after him. Let's get him for the gala. So I went, oh, Lord. So I did. I was able to call over to Kathy Taylor's office, and she was then the Secretary of Commerce, I believe, for the state of Oklahoma. And of course, I went through chains of people to get to her, but finally did get to talk to her and told her what we were interested in doing. She said that her mother had diabetes. All of us have somebody in our family who now we know somebody with diabetes. We're all affected. She was affected and wanted to talk to us about it. She said, well, come by our house on such, at 5 o'clock some evening and we'll get together. So my wife, Deborah, and I went over to that beautiful home that I was really anxious to get inside and see. So rang the doorbell, and this man comes to the door and told him why we were there. And he said, come in and sit down in the living room. He didn't introduce himself at all. And then I'm sitting in this gorgeous living room, and Ann hadn't arrived either. Now I'm going, the executive director's not here. I don't know what to say or do. But Bill finally comes in, the man comes in with two glasses of wine for us and serves us with wine. I'm looking at my wife and said, you think he's the butler, or what do you think he is? So we sat in there for a while. Ronnie, you laugh because you work with him every day. You wouldn't know him from Adam. You well could have been. He's a little bit on the shy side, I would say. But all of a sudden he said, well, Kathy's late. And so Kathy shows up. We waited for a long, long time for Kathy to show up. And they sat down. And so we told them unfortunately, Ann had showed up by then and was able to give her the ADA story and what we were there for. And they said, we'll think about it. So, usually nobody will commit on that first visit. But ultimately, they agreed that they would be involved, but they said, we have an idea. It's a little different than doing a gala and sitting around with a boring talk with a bunch of rubber chickens, for $200. So they said, we think maybe people might enjoy coming down and seeing the cars that Bill has in our numbered car store down at 3rd and Lewis. So I said, well, we decided, let's go look. So they took us down to see the cars. Well, you go down there, there's a greasy old garage, We thought, well, what kind of a party are we going to have in here? And as luck would have it, their heart changed a little bit, and they said, well, let's just have these cars on our lawn in front of our beautiful house on Columbia. Yeah. So they agreed to do this, and they said, we're going to have a Concours. I had to go home and look it up. You don't pronounce the S, I've learned. They agreed to have the Concours on their front yard, and as luck would have it, Kathy ran for mayor at the very same season that happened, and fortunately, she got elected. So she was mayor-elect of the city of Tulsa at this time. So now we got 2 draws. People can come to see these 3 draws. People can come to see these nice cars. They can come and meet the mayor and then they can see that gorgeous house. What a draw. So they put on one of the most beautiful parties at their home. I mean, it was gorgeous. Their backyard is beautiful. Had magnificent Bentleys and Bugattis. And, I'm not a car guy. I'm a real estate guy who cares about raising funds for diabetes. But fortunately, they put on, the first one was in their yard. It was the largest fundraiser in the United States that year for diabetes. Over $500,000 raised in that particular one event. It was great. And it's come a long way. Unfortunately, the 500 grand has diminished a little bit, as all of you who do these charities know. But we're in our 11th year. It's going to be this coming Sunday from 4 to 7. If you've never been to it, it has been. The venue is now at Southern Hills. It's up by Snug Harbor. The cars are out on the lawn around Snug Harbor on the parking lot. You will see cars from 1934, 1939 Packard limousines to today's newest Ferraris. And we have this year 32 cars on display. And it's not just the cars, it's the people. And the dress it says on the invitation is Pebble Beach Casual. We had more people calling up saying, what the hell is Pebble Beach Casual? But if you want to come see what Pebble Beach Casual is, come look at Southern Hills Sunday and you'll see. And then you'll also have a marvelous dinner. There's going to be a great auction, and I hope that lady comes to the auction. We have some very... Wake up, girl, we're having an auction. Son. Okay, Richard, you make sure she shows up at the auction. Some good prizes. So, and our honoree this year is Chief Baker. Our sponsor, biggest sponsor this year is the Cherokee Business Nation, so we're grateful to them for that. Real quickly now, I'm going to introduce, I took longer than I thought I would. I'm looking at that clock, and he gave me a deadline, and I never thought I'd make it. I thought I'd be done an hour ago. I want to introduce our current executive director, who's relatively new in this position, and she will tell you a little quick story of what ADA is all about, Miss Jane Dunbar. Thank you all very much.
Okay, so that's a hard act to follow. Is he not awesome? What a story about his involvement with American Diabetes Association. I'm going to talk pretty quickly about what we do because I know we're running out of time, and I'm just going to kind of wrap that up. So our mission is to prevent and cure diabetes and improve the lives of all people affected by diabetes. And as Roger's story, you know that it doesn't only affect the person that has diabetes, it affects the family, their friends, and people beyond and beyond. I became involved with the American Diabetes Association and was very fortunate to do so and excited to do so because I too grew up with diabetes in my home. My dad is 84 and he has been a person with diabetes for almost 60 years. And the reason that he honestly is still alive, about 23 years ago, he had a diabetic-related stroke, but is because of the work of organizations like American Diabetes Association, the research that we do, and the education that we do that help people manage their disease. And you guys, it's a 24/7 thing. There is never a break. You can't go on vacation. You can't get away from it. It is monitoring your blood sugar. It's pricking your finger 100 times a day. It's shots. It's 2 and 3 shots a day. It is a big deal. It is a big deal. Diabetes is one of the causes of stroke, heart disease, blindness, amputations, and kidney failure. There are just so many things, and it's just an important thing to know about and realize. We work with type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is a little rarer than type 2, but I will tell you that Oklahoma, we're famous for so many things, and many of them are unfortunate, but we are in the diabetic belt. There are about 15 states that have a population of 13% or more have diabetes. The national average is 8.5%. So right now we're losing that one. So we really need to be aware of what's going on. It costs about $3.7 billion in Oklahoma for diabetic-related cost. So I am just going to say that the reason we do Concours, the reason we talk to you, the reason we have meetings with people, the reason we have a walk, and the reason we have a cycling event is to raise money for research. We work with healthcare excellence. We work with physicians, and we have some standards that we work through every year. We analyze those every year and make sure those are still good, and we talk to physicians about those. We do a lot of advocacy. We work with the legislature. We talk to people about what it's like to have diabetes and need to go to school. What is it like for a child in school, and what can we do to help the families? So we have seminars about being safe at school with diabetes and all kinds of things like that. And we also talk a whole lot about total wellness. And so if you want to talk about total wellness in your company or with your employees, or you want to do something like that, we're proud that One Oak this year is our first elite health champion with American Diabetes Association. And so I'd love to talk to you guys about that sometime. But mostly today, I would love for you to come out to Concours, see what we're about. We do have a few places left, not a lot, but if you would like to come, please do. And as always, your donations are welcome, whether you come or not. We'll take your money. That's the way it works, right? So anyway, I do appreciate, my dad's a lifetime Rotarian, so I kind of feel like I'm with family, and I thank you for inviting us to be here, and I'm going to wrap it up. So thank you so much.
Hopefully my mom won't watch this video because she would be embarrassed that I told you she has type 2 diabetes. There's a whole generation out there that will not talk about that, so it's probably deeper than we know. And my best friend, my fishing partner and my business partner, and he was recently diagnosed with type 2. So it can hit anybody, anywhere, anytime. Hit her at 60, hit him at 62. So we thank you for your work. We thank you for your participation, your volunteerism. We thank you for putting on the event, giving us a vision of how one person can make a change, and we need that. Sarge, can you come up real quick? While Sarge is coming up, I'm going to skip David's announcement, but what he's going to tell you is sign up for BizViz. So David, stand up, let everybody know. You stand out there and catch them before they leave and make sure they're signed up for BizViz.
Deadline's here. We've got to do this week. You got an email today. Just answer the email and sign up. It's on your table. We've only got about 85 people signed up. Please sign up. Thank you.
Okay, also we have a sign up for the offsite out at the table. Today is the last day?
Yes.
Yep, today's the last day to sign up for that. You have to have your driver's license and register for that for you and your guest. You can email the office up to 5 o'clock closing time today for that registration. Please do that. That's going to be a great event, and we respect their need for security.
Okay, here we go. We're at $1,166, and so let's get one of our guests to draw. Who would like to draw my ticket?
Roger needs to be
Roger, okay. Make it a winner.
That's right.
Got one?
I think I got two.
Okay, well, we don't know who they belong to, so pick your favorite. All right, here we go. The number is 248207.
Must be present to win.
248207.
Oh, you got it?
Woohoo!
All right.
There we go.
I was about to auction off another ticket here.
What's your name, young man? David. How have we never met? I'm Catherine DeCamp. It's nice to meet you. We need to be sitting around more tables more often. So, okay, are you ready for this? I'm going to cut the cards really quickly. Pick a winner. Pick the winner.
Okay, if he draws a joker, he gets half the pot.
Just, yeah, it's the top one. You want the top one? Oh, okay. It's in there somewhere. I already checked.
How about that?
Show me.
And the winner is?
8 of 6.
Oh.
Okay, good job.
Okay, as every week passes, the pot gets bigger and the cards get fewer. So participate in that. The funds for that go to Rotary International. That also supports multiple projects, which I'll quiz Catherine, next week. I haven't been home in 4 days. I got Kathy on the brain. All I'm going to quiz you next week on the work of the primary directives for Rotary International, so you better study. Okay. So you'll present that to us next week. We have upcoming programs. Our off-site Air National Guard. Please sign up for that today. Fred Davis, bring a guest. They can be either Republican or Democrat. They will have an equal opportunity to be insulted. And Scott Sully from Philbrook. Have a great afternoon. Go out and change Tulsa.